Hey there, Year 12. So again, I'm now going to do a Djikstras algorithm for finding the shortest path from A to F using the table method. So here we go. Let's start off by doing the table. So same thing. I want to go set up my table. So here we go. Here's my table. And it looks terrible. I'm going to use a ruler. And a digital ruler. How cool is that? So I've got my table here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with A. So A is over here. You can do V for vertices. So A, we're trying to get to F. So that means I need to include B, C, E, D in there as well. Okay, so B, C, E, D, and then F is my final vertices that I want to get to, right? So again, Dijkstra's algorithm, you're literally just going to be connecting what you can see on the diagram. A to B, I've got clearly A to B is a distance of 2. So I'm going to write here 2. Okay, so I can get there by 2. What about A to C? I can get there to 6. And then A to E? No, can't do it. D can't and F can't. Cool? In the first step here, you start to box. Once you box them, okay, remember, once you box them, that's done. B has the best weighting. There's no more. So here, the question is, which one has the smallest value? Clearly B, which is 2. I'm going to box it in green. Okay, so that means the weighting from A to B, I'm going to put a 2 there. Once I put a 2 there and I highlight it, that means that is the best path from A to B has been decided. Okay, that is the fastest path there. So now that tells me, because I've boxed B, that means in my next line, I'm now going to start off with B. So from B here, I then say, okay, well, can I go from, and sorry, I'm going to write down the 2 because I've already stated that 2 is the best route. There's no other route once I box it. Then B to C. What about B to C? Well, B to C, there is a connection with an extra 2. So 2 plus 2 gives me now a total of 4. Because remember, you're starting off with 2 there. And so 2 with an extra 2 is 4. And what about B to E? B to E is an extra 2 as well. So that now gives me 4. And then B to D was an extra 3, which gives me 2 plus 3, which is 5. And then B to F, I can't do. Now, in this example, which is different to what we had done previously, is that there are 2 best pathways. You can choose either one, doesn't matter which one, okay? So I like to go in chronological order. So in this section here, in this row, what is the next best path? I'm just going to pick C. You could have picked E as well. Doesn't matter, right? So 4 is the next best path. And then I'm going to write now, all right, well, then let's go with C. So starting from C, I've boxed it. So 2 is the best route to B. And then C now, I'm saying the next best route is 4, okay? So from C, how did I get 4 again? I went from A to B, B to C. So this is the best route. It was better than going from A to C. A to C is 6, right? So it was better to go A to B and then B to C. Right. Now that I got C sorted, I now need to look at, well, from C, if I want to go from C to E, I can't. Okay, I can't connect C to E, but I did have a previous best route, which was 4. So I'm going to keep the 4 there. And then what about C to D? Yep, C can get to D by adding an extra 1. Now remember, C was at 4. If I add an extra 1, that makes it now 5. But you see that it's already 5, so I might as well just keep it as 5, right? So it doesn't really matter. So how did I get 5 before? Remember, that was from the route of 2 to B and then B to D. That was giving me a value of 5, okay? But I'm not going to highlight it yet because I still don't know if that is the best route, okay? So, and then what about C to F? C to F I can't do. So now you look at this row and you say, what is the next best value? Okay, so it is clearly 4. 4 is the next smallest value, and that's on E. So that's when I highlight, okay, I highlight E because I now have confirmed this is the next best pathway that I can take. Okay, because that gives me a value of 4. So if I fill in the values here, this is now 4, and remember this was 4 as well. I've now confirmed that to get to vertices E, 4 is the best route. vertice C, 4 was the best route, and then to get to B, 2 was the best distance. So when I highlight it, I'm confirming this is the best approach that you can get. Okay, so then that is in the column of E. So then I go, okay, well, I'm going to start off with E now again. So E is my next row. And then I'm going to confirm all of these are already confirmed. So it's 4, 4, 2. And I say, well, from E, can I connect to D? And yes, I can. I can connect to D by doing an extra 2. Now, E was already at 4. If I add an extra 2, that makes it 6. But can you see 5 was the better option? So I wouldn't write 6. I knew that 5 was still the best option here. So I'm going to write 5. But remember, there were actually 2 routes to get 5. Okay, there are 2 routes to get 5 here. You can get from, was it A to B and B to D was a good route. Okay, so that was the 5 route. And then you can also have A to B, B to C, and then C to D. Notice that was also 5 as well. So for those who aren't able to follow me, I said A to B and B to D. That's 1 route. That's 2 plus 3 gives you 5. But you could also get from A to B and then B to C, which is 4, plus an extra 1. That's also 5 as well. So it seems like there are 2 possible methods that seem to be pretty good to get to D so far, all right, which gives you a value of 5. And then you still ask yourself, well, from E, can I get to F? Because I still got to figure out this column here. And yes, it looks like I've got an extra 3 to get to F. So E, which is currently 4, if I add an extra 3, that now makes it 7. Okay, so here I go, I fill it out and say, right, so that was 7. And then I do the same process again. I say, out of the ones left over, which is D and F, which one is the best option? And clearly 5. That's why I would then highlight. Technically, I shouldn't have highlighted before, but at this point, this is when you highlight the distance of 5. So A to B to D, that's 5, but also remember A to B to C to D was also another 5. So I'd highlight those as your 2 next best route. Doesn't matter which one, right? Now that you've got D sorted, remember we're almost there. We've got D as our next selected best route. And so then from here, I'll finish it by writing all 2, 4, 4, 5. These are all confirmed. All right, so these are all confirmed as the best distance. And then from D, which is starting at 5 so far, can I get to F? And yes, I can. D connected to F is an extra 5. So that gives me a total weight of 10. Okay, because I'm adding to the D. And, but you see here, once I finish off with 10, which one was the best route? You see, I have a 7 up here, which is smaller than the 10 that I currently have. So 7 is the next best route. And so I've finished here because there's no other things to compare with. So 7, I'm now going to box saying that is the best route to get to F. So on my diagram, I'm going to highlight, how did I get 7? It was A to B, and then B to E, which is 4, and 4 plus 3 is 7 there. Okay, so there we go. So what you see here that I've highlighted, you can see that when I put the weighting on them all, that tells me, so these numbers here, 2, 4, 4, 5, and 7 represent the best routes from A to every one of those vertices there. Okay, and what I've highlighted there, which is for our next exercise called about trees and spanning trees, this is why I'm highlighting them for you to understand. Okay, and also when I teach you the Djikstras method visually and not the table, that's what this is. So if you want to find the best path to it, clearly in this diagram, in this table, without even looking at the diagram, I can see that 7, which is F, I'm going to go up the column until I stop at 7, so it stops at E. So I now make sure I go to the column of E. So here we go, that's column of E. And I keep going up until all the 4s in column E are sorted. And that brings us to B. So then I go all the way to column B. All right, so column B. And once I finish off column B, which is all the way to 2, that takes us to A. So that tells me the best route is clearly A to B. Okay, so A towards B. All right, I'm just going to take that out. So B was the best route. And then from B, notice I needed to go to E. Okay, so this is the next best value, so a column. And then from E, where did I go? I went to F. Okay, and that finishes off the answer there. So I can see, I'm just going to take this off so that when you look at the diagram, it's much easier. So A to B to E to F was the best, was the best route that I can see from Dijkstra's algorithm, and I know that that's a weighting of 7. Okay, that's how you do Dijkstra's algorithm. So please watch my video up here where I introduce, technically you didn't need to, but I'm doing it so that you can see, and then I've also done this one. So hopefully that makes more sense on how to do the table. Okay.